Walter Ray Williams Jr. taking on Brian Zeisig. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson back here with you.
And Rob, the PBA lost two of its more memorable members this week. On Sunday, Bill Beach, who won a Masters title and was the winner of the very first PBA Senior Tour event, died at the age of 80 in Warren, Pennsylvania. Then on Monday, PBA charter member Bill Bonetta passed away at the age of 90 in Fresno, California. Both Beach and Bonetta were USBC Hall of Famers. The PBA would like to pass along condolences to the families of both of these men.
Our thoughts go out to them and their families. Time now for match number 3, Zeisig, your number 2 seed. The local product from Levittown, New York, about 15 minutes away from here, to take on Walter Ray Williams Jr. And WRWJ will start us off here in match number 3. There's a live look at Zeisig. And Zeisig, a former pro on the tour. Now an amateur. Starts where he left off. Another strike for Walter Ray.
He owns 6 PBA regional titles and was inducted into the Long Island Bowling Hall of Fame in 2006 from Levittown, New York. Please welcome Brian Zeisig.
Huge crowd here for Zeisig. And that's the face of like the New York lottery guy, and apparently the point on that guy is they put a big head on a small body, and Zeisig's nickname is Big Head, El Grande Head. And the ball eventually gets there for a strike, and Big Head opens up with the jack.
You know, I knew Brian when he was a touring player back in 98. He was a touring player from 98 to 2001, just a real likable guy, nice guy. And when you talk to the folks here around town, especially at Johnny Petraglia, who know about the bowlers here in the New York area, you always hear the same message, that Brian Zeisig is arguably the best bowler in New York.
Back-to-back jacks for Zeisig. Trying to become the first amateur since the PBA went to an exempt field format, and that was in the 04-05 season. He's trying to become the first to win a standard PBA event as an amateur. Last amateur to win, Brett Wolf in 2002, and that was the Masters in Reno. But he's got a big task ahead of him. Nothing but strikes in our semi so far.
Hey, that's a Andy Verapapa 300 game.
So has Walter Ray had a good season or not? Let's ask WRWJ.
Well, I mean, it's not my best season, but considering how old I am, it's one of my better seasons. So it's, you know, I never expected to be this competitive at age 50, and you know, I don't know that it wasn't possible before, just that nobody had done it before. Most of the guys, when they get to 50, they're just not as interested in bowling full time against all the kids, and for some reason I still am. I love to compete, and as long as I'm competitive, I'm going to still do it.
Yeah, no end in sight for that man right there. When I said Andy Verapapa 300, that's 12 strikes in a row over 2 games, Rob.
Zeisig looking for an opening 3-bagger. And finds it. Well, the RV's got one more trip to make. Is it gassed? Is it oiled up? You got the windshield wiper fluid? We ready to roll to Baltimore?
You know I always have the RV sled ready to go.
It's an Easter Sunday tradition, the PBA. On ESPN Live next Sunday, 1 Eastern, the Lumber Liquidators Marathon Open, the final event of the 09-10 Lumber Liquidators PBA season. And then after that, the PBA Experience Showdown. You can see coverage of that in April. Himbo!
Well, let me just say this, Rob. Brian Zeisig going up against the greatest player to ever live, and Brian looks stoic. I mean, he doesn't look like there's any emotion going through that body at all. Let me just tell you that this guy is one of the funniest men you'll ever meet. He's got the greatest personality. You're not seeing any right now. He's got himself in some kind of zone.
Wow, a great run by Walter Ray.
Yeah, and because he doesn't
13 strikes in a row, ending there.
Yeah, and because he doesn't strike on that ball, he is now trailing. But listen to this. Sounded like that bowling ball was catching the thumb hole, which made it skid just enough to leave a ring of 10.
And he puts on the skinny jeans to bump the 10 out. Ooh, exhale, inhale, squeeze.
Boy, he's disgusted that that was that close. You know, most guys would be like, hey, I made it. It's no big deal.
Well, that's the kind of perfection he expects from himself. The first non-strike of our semifinal. Here's Walter Ray to begin the 5th. Back on the strike train for Walter Ray. He came into the week 4 points behind Bill O'Neill for the Player of the Year points race. He has already guaranteed himself 4 points courtesy of an at-worst third-place finish. So right now, Walter Ray, O'Neill tied for first on the Player of the Year standings. Should Walter Ray win or even finish second, he'll be all alone in first. Opening Yahtzee!
You kidding me? Brian Zeisig, the head? Wow, what a performance thus far. This guy said, you know what, Randy? All I have to do tomorrow is just try to have fun and make sure I get my hand around the side of the bowling ball and I'll be fine. Well, he's doing just that. Although, you don't really see the outwardness of the fun. It's all internal right now. I promise you, his heart is racing.
Well, all of his fans and family here are doing the fun part. They're taking care of that. Looking for an opening 6-pack. And no! 7-10! Maybe Mark Roth could step up and take care of it for him. Only 3 times has a 7-10 been converted on television, and Mark Roth, one of them. And here is Roth doing it in 1980. Take care of the 10, kick it, and come on back for the 7.
And he did it throwing plastic.
Foreshadowing? No. Would have been nice. And there is Roth saying, you know what he should have done? A little more to the right and a little more power. I could have taken care of that. A 7-pin match through 5.5. What a start. What does the conclusion have? Zeisig, Walter Ray, the conclusion when we return to Long Island.